How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's stick mobility class. I am Coach Ray. So for today's class, we are going to need access to 2 long sticks and 1 short stick. We're also going to need access to a pad for us to kneel on because we are going to be getting into some half kneeling rotations, particularly at the end of the workout. Also, I have a band here. This band is hooked up to something that's very, very secure. And we're also gonna need a kettlebell too, because we're gonna be doing some rotating overhead presses, specifically working with the spiral line. And so how we're gonna hook up the band, or how we're gonna utilize the band in order to further facilitate activation on a spiral line is gonna be wrapping that band around the shoulder and then rotating. So we are gonna need to have a band that's gonna be really, really secure into something, and we do not need a heavy band for this. So I'm actually gonna use a relatively light band. The main thing is that we're creating a challenge on that spiral line as we go into that press. So we're gonna start off with some slap shot. And I wanna use this as a way to open up the hips, open up the adductors, as well as the T-spine. So I'm gonna take a relatively wide stance, and this stance is always gonna depend on what your mobility is and how you're initially feeling to start off with. I'm gonna have the stick behind my mid back, hands are stretched out here. From here, and I'm gonna have a slight toe out angle as well, I'm going to start to hinge, and I wanna have soft bend to my knees here. Now I'm gonna get a stretch in the hamstrings. Now I'm gonna rotate the right end of the stick down to my center line, and I'm gonna pull the stick apart with about 30% tension, and I'm gonna lunge to the right, and then left, driving off that right foot nice and hard, back to center, good, and I'm gonna rotate the opposite end down, pull stick apart, lunge to the left, driving off that right leg, and then lunge to the right, driving off the left leg. Back to center, good, rotate the right end down. Try to get a little further across your center line if you can. Pull that stick apart, good. Sink into that right hip, good, and left. It's okay for you to bend that bottom arm. Back to center, rotate the left end down, same thing, pull apart, lunge to the left. Excellent, now to the right. Back to center. Let's go one more time here, folks. Rotate the right end down, try to get further across, pull apart, lunge to the right, and to the left. Get a nice good hang in that back hand here. Back to center, rotate the left end down, pull apart, lunge to the right, or left, sorry, pushing off the right leg, now lunge to the right. Breathe, back to center, and ease off. Wiggle those feet in, nice and slow. Now we're gonna use the short stick here, and we're gonna start off with some kayaking. We're gonna start with just getting the shoulders moving, then we're gonna add in some rotations, and then we're gonna add in pivoting. So we're gonna segment everything going down. I'm gonna have short stick in my hands. I have my fingertips at the end of the sticks here. I'm gonna have my feet about roughly shoulder width apart, toes are pointed forward, and I'm gonna drop into a little bit of a horse stance, squeezing those glutes. Start with that right hand up, try to keep both arms locked out, elbows straight. I'm gonna drive that right hand through, left hand comes up and over, good. Nice and slow, keep it controlled. Breathe. Should be feeling that shoulder blade moving along that rib cage nicely. Breathe. Excellent. So now we're going to start segmenting the spine into it. So as the right hand comes up and over, I'm going to rotate to my left. The left hand comes up and over. I'm going to rotate to my right. I want to keep my hips facing forward to the best of my ability. Breathe. Excellent. Good. Now, as the right hand comes up and over and I rotate up to the left, I'm gonna pivot that right foot. So now I'm getting full on integration of the entire body. Good, keep it nice and smooth. And 3, 2, 1, and excellent. Good. Now we are going to be getting to kettlebell overhead presses. So I want to prime, particularly external rotation, so we can actually keep our elbows, our shoulder in a really good strong position, especially as we work through rotating into that overhead press. So I'm going to take the stick. I want you to think about gripping towards where the end of the stick is here, where the grip is. I'm going to bring my elbow into a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to externally rotate here. Now I want to keep that elbow in front. That's important. I want to make sure that elbow is also at shoulder height. Now from this position here, I'm going to pull with my left hand into a stretch, into an external rotation. Something I want you to be aware of is all 5 fingers are literally touching the stick. Not going with 3 fingers, not with 4, all 5 fingers are touching the stick here. Now from this position, we're still just gonna hold here, getting that stretch. Now we're gonna pull the stick apart at 30% intensity, so pull apart, try to lengthen that stick. Excellent, now compress. Good, pull apart, pull that left hand up a little higher. Keep pulling apart, do not lose that tension, now compress. Good, make sure you're breathing here. Pull apart, pull up a little higher, hold this position. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off, nice and slow. And now we're gonna switch sides. So do that same thing. 6 in the left hand here, comes up and over. Excellent, hold that position. Same position as on the other side. Pull that with that right hand in external rotation. Hold that position here for a bit. Now you don't just wanna jump into activating the shoulder. You wanna make sure that we can kind of prep those tissues a little bit with a little bit of a stretch. Now we're gonna pull apart, so lengthen that stick, 30%. Breathe. You shouldn't be leaning or laterally flexing. You should be up nice and tall. Compress. Try to shorten that stick here. Excellent. Pull apart, pull more to external rotation. Keep that tension. Breathe. Compress. Good, hold. Excellent, lengthen. Pull more to external rotation, hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Nice and slow. And relax. Now we're gonna go to the floor. We're gonna get in some rotation. So we're gonna do an open book rotation. And we've done a drill, we've done this exact drill before. This works better with 2 long sticks. If you only have 1, that's totally fine too. Now I'm gonna go to the floor here, and we're gonna start by laying on my left side. Now what's important is that as we're here, always keep in mind the hip that's on the ground, or the leg that's in contact with the floor, we want to keep that leg straight. The other or top leg is the one that's actually coming through under the stick here. So I'm going to have 1 stick here, 1 stick down, pressing into the corner of a wall. So I'm going to have my left foot on top of the stick, right or top leg comes under the stick. And I'm going to compress, or I'm going to pull down with my left hand here. The right stick is kind of behind my body, or in line with the hips just about. Now from here, pulling down with the left hand, I'm gonna open up, rotate to my right, breathe, come back up. We're gonna go through again. Make sure you're taking deep breaths here. We're not driving the sticks down into the wall. Good. Rotate again. Come back up. Let's go one more time here, folks. Open up and rotate to the right. Back up and ease off. Now we're going to switch sides. So do that same thing. Right foot or right leg, or bottom leg that's on the floor, or foot is on top of the stick. The other leg is under the stick. Use the right hand to create tension by pulling down towards the floor. Now we're going to take that left stick, make sure it's placed into the wall. Excellent. Pull with the right hand, open up and rotate to your left. Might start off a little tight, but you should feel loosening up here. Come back up. Go into it again. Breathe. We got two more. Open up. Back up. One more time. Open up. Excellent. Come back up and over and ease off. Excellent. Okay, so now what I want to do here, I just want to warm up the core. And I particularly want to warm up the core because we are going to be getting into a hollow hold position, driving both sticks into our feet. So for this one, we're going to do from a half kneeling position, and we're going to kind of slowly ramp up that tension as we go along here. And so if you have a pad, you can go ahead and grab it here. And again, we're going with a tall position. And so I'm actually going to turn to the side here. And again, what I want you to pay attention to is, for one, pelvic positioning and rib cage positioning, okay? And as we drive the sticks down, we don't want our position to change or shift back and forth. We want to kind of hold that position here. We're going to increase that tension by positioning. So I'm going to have my hands up pretty high here, all right? Now from this position here, first thing I want to do is I want to drive my feet into the floor. That's going to activate that those interior tissues. Squeeze my glutes, so I'm going to get into a posterior tilt. Make sure I'm dropping my rib cage down towards my pelvis. You should feel your core turn on. Now let's intensify that by driving the sticks into the ground, 20%. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Ease off and relax. And now let's up it to 40%. Drive the feet down into the floor, squeeze the glutes, drive that rib cage down, push. Might be feeling your core shaking. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Okay, let's go up to 60%. Tuck the pelvis, drive the feet into the floor, squeeze the glutes, ribs down, push. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Now, again, that's a really good way to utilize positioning to warm for an exercise. So that is a way to progress the hollow hold, but it's also a very, very challenging way to actually do it. The more you kind of incorporate it from that tall kneeling position, because you're taking away things that could potentially help or compensate, it makes it harder. Now we're going to get into the spiraling or rotational press here. So like I mentioned, I have a band hooked up over here. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so now we're gonna get into the press. I'm actually gonna have, I got a kettlebell ready here, and I'm gonna start on my pressing with my left side. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna have the band on my left shoulder. So hook up the band. Also, the band's roughly about waist height here. So I want you to kind of be aware of that. So I'm gonna pick up the band and I'm going to bring it around my left shoulder here. So the end of the band is right between my shoulder or my anterior delt and my pec. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate away from where the band is, or the anchoring point. So I'm gonna rotate to my right, rotate my body to my right here. The kettlebell is gonna be in my left hand. So I'm gonna bring it up into that front rack position here. Now what I wanna do is I'm going to pivot and rotate towards my right. My right leg stays facing forward, and as I pivot and rotate to my right, I'm going to press the kettlebell overhead and back down. As you do that, you're going to feel that spiral line really activate those anterior tissues particularly. So we're going to hold here. Let's go ahead and do 5 reps per side. So hold in that front rack position here. I'm going to rotate to my right, press the kettlebell overhead, squeezing that left glute, and then back down. So again, rotate and press, squeeze the left glute, back down, rotate, press, squeezing that left glute. It's 3. Let's go 2 more, rotate. 4, 1 more time, rotate. 5, good, and now come back down. Now we're gonna switch sides here. And so you'll actually be able to see how it looks when I go from the back here. So band is around the right shoulder, rotate to the left. Bring that kettlebell up into that front rack position here. Excellent. Remember, rotating that outside leg, rotating toward the left. So from here, rotate, pivot. 1, make sure you're firing that right glute. Squeeze. 2. Again. 3. Pivot, press. 4. 1 more time. Pivot and press. 5. Excellent. Bring it back down. We're going to come back to this. Now we're going to go to a hollow hold. We're going to take both long sticks. We're going to go to the ground here. I'm going to have the bottom of both sticks on top of my feet. I'm going to have my hands at roughly about shoulder height here. Legs straight. Now what I want to do, dorsiflex those ankles. Drive both sticks down. Tuck the pelvis, drop the ribs down, and pick my feet up. We're going to hold this for 15 seconds. You're only pushing the sticks down about 30%. It's a long hold here, folks. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down and ease off. Now we're going to go back to the presses again. So we're going to start on the left side. Get it around the shoulder. Rotate your body to the right. If you want a bigger challenge, step out further away from the wall here. Get the kettlebell into that front rack position here. Good, excellent. From here, rotate, press. 1, rotate, press. 2, again, rotate, press. 3, rotate, press. 4, 1 more time, rotate, press. 5, back down, ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. Turn to your left. Pick up the kettlebell, get into that front rack position here. Rotate, press. 1, rotate, press. 2, in, rotate, press. 3, let's go 2 more, rotate, press. 4, last one, rotate, press. 5, and ease off. Gonna go back to those hollow holds. Now the cool thing is, as you're doing that, as you're in a rotational press, you should be feeling the opposite spiral line on the posterior side activating there. Let's go to the hollow hold again. We're gonna go 15 seconds, holding at 30% still. This hollow hold's gonna be quite a bit of a challenge, and we're supersetting, so it makes it even harder. So from here, upper back off the floor, drop the ribs down, tuck the pelvis, drive the stakes into the feet, lift the feet. Breathe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Excellent. Let's go one more round here, folks. So we're going to go with that left side again. Again, there's a way to make this a little bit of a better setup, but if you have a band, so the anchor into, this is a really good way to do this. So from here, the same thing. Get into that front rack position here. Sorry, need to adjust the band a little bit, folks. Go from here, rotate, press. 1, rotate and press. 2, rotate, press. 3, rotate and press. 4, one more time, rotate, press. 5, excellent. Down, switch sides. Doing good, doing good. Yeah, front rack position. Right, same thing. Rotate, press. 1, rotate, drive, squeeze that right glute. Get that hip extension. Rotate and press. 3, rotate, press. 4, last one, rotate and press. 5, excellent. Ease off, take a second. Now we're gonna get into the hollow hold, and then we're gonna use the band to do some split squat exercise. It's gonna be fun. All right, 15-second hold again. Last one, still at 30%. Upper back off the floor, tucking that pelvis, drive the 6 down, 30%. Bring your feet off the floor. Lower back should be flat the entire time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Whew, tough one. All right, folks. Now we're gonna get into a lunge. We're gonna set up the band to be basically the same way, except in this one, we're actually going to be completely facing the anchoring point. So we're gonna get a lot more emphasis or a lot more drive working with that spiral line and those rotational patterns here. We're gonna be using both sticks for this. We're actually not going to use weight for this particular exercise. However, do not mistake that for it being easier. So from here, I'm gonna have the band around my right shoulder. I'm gonna rotate all the way around here. Now, I have to create tension on that anterior spiral line. So I'm creating tension from this right rib cage to this left hip. I have to maintain tension there, even just holding this position. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm further going to create more demand. I'm gonna grab both sticks and I'm gonna take my right leg and place it back into a split squat position. Now figure out what position works best for you and whatever's most comfortable. Left leg is forward, grabbing the ground, right foot is back. I have a high heel on that back foot here. I'm gonna have both sticks in line with the toes of my front foot. Hands are roughly about rib cage height here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive both sticks down 50%. Excellent. Then I'm gonna lower my back leg down, hold that position, and lift and hover both sticks. Good. And rotate to my left or towards my left leg. Really gonna feel that oblique, left oblique really kick on. Come back to center, place the sticks down, hold, and back up, ease off. That's 1 rep. We're gonna do 2 more. So hold with the hands at rib cage height, lift the right leg, step back, find that position, drive the sticks down 50%, drop that back knee down, hold, hover the sticks, rotate to the left, hold, excellent, back forward, drive the sticks down, step back up, ease off, excellent. We got 1 more time here. Doing good, everybody. Drive both sticks down, step back with the right foot, drop that back knee down, hold, keep driving the sticks into the floor, hover the sticks, rotate to the left. 3, 2, 1, back forward, place the sticks down, drive, step back up, and ease off. Excellent. Now we're going to switch sides. So if you're really, there's a really good and awesome drill to use if you're trying to get much stronger and better at rotation, and particularly if you're trying to work on your balance when it comes to a split squat. At least for me, this is my favorite application for it. Now, the band's going around the left shoulder, rotating towards my right to create that tension here. So the band should be wrapping around your back. So right leg's going to be forward this time. Left leg's going to be back. Sticks are in that same position here. So I'm going to start from this position here, just like we did on the other side. Drive both sticks down 50%. Good. Drop that back knee down. Good. Hover the sticks, rotate to the right. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Back forward. Drive the sticks down. 50%. Excellent. Step back up. And ease off. Good. We got 2 more. You're going to notice that one side's going to be harder than the other. That's okay, unless you know what side to work on here, right? Drop both sticks down, 50%. Step back with the left. Drop that left knee down toward the floor. Excellent. Hover the sticks. Rotate to the right. Three, 2, 1. Back forward. Place the sticks down. Push. Step up. Ease off. We got 1 more time here. Good. Drop both sticks down. 50%. Bring that left foot back. Drop down. Hold. Over the sticks. Rotate to the right. 3, 2, 1. Rotate back forward. Drive the sticks down. Step back up. And ease off. Whew. Excellent. Good. Take the band off. Take a second. So typically, if you have a belt or a strap, something to loop around, because you would add that as an extra attachment to the band. If you have that, that is much better to use for that. But if you only have a band, this is the best way. This is going to be the best way to do it, especially if you're trying to load those lines there. Now, we're going to start off with a double hang. We're going to go from the knee here. And what I want to focus on here is getting some rotation. So I'm going to turn here, have my right knee down, my right foot's going to be extended. I want to drive that foot into the floor. So I'm actively going to go into a hip flexor stretch here and work on rotating, but we're still hanging in those hands. So I have the bottom of the sticks just about in line with the heel of my left foot. Both hands are up nice and high. Now I'm going to drive that back foot down, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute, and then split the hips and sink forward. So I'm getting a hang in my hands here. Now I'm going to rotate to my left. Excellent. To the right. Left. Right. Left. And right. Back to center. Slowly ease off and switch sides here. Put the back foot down. Push it into the floor. Tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute. Split those hips. Get a hang in the hands here. Rotate to the right. Left. Right. Left. Right. And left. Back to center and ease off. Excellent. Good. Now from here, we don't need the pad anymore. We're going to get into a chest and bicep stretch. So as we do this, we're going to switch our hands as we go along here. Now to start, we're going to need a corner of a wall. Right? Now to start, we're going to have our hands and shoulders externally rotated, which means I'm going to grip the sticks with my thumb facing behind me, at least for this initial one here. Now, bottoms of the sticks are anchored into something. I'm going to have my right foot forward. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean and lunge forward, shifting forward here, keeping my arms out straight. So thumbs are facing back behind me. I'm going to sink forward into that lunge, pull the sticks in towards one another. So I want to almost pull my shoulder blades together. I'm going to feel a nice good stretch in the chest, the pec area. Hands are roughly a little lower than shoulder height here. I'm going to move the hands up. What you're going to change, what part of the pec is actually getting stretched here. Then I'm going to move my hands back down. Good. Move it back up. Good. And down. Ease off. Nice and slow. Now we're going to switch sides. I'm going to step forward my left foot. Right foot comes back. Same thing. Hands are out. Sink into it. There you go. Pull those shoulder blades together. Make sure you're breathing here, folks. Keeping that right glute tight. Bring the hands up. It's a little higher than shoulder height. Back down. Good. Back up. Down. Good, and ease off. Excellent. Now we're going to switch our hands. So instead of our arms being externally rotated, we're now going to internally rotate. So we're going to have our thumb pointing down towards the opposite end of the stick, so the bottom of the stick here. Now for this one, we don't need to be in a lunge position. We could be in a square position. Now the main thing is that we want to make sure that as we go along here, we're driving those shoulders down. We don't want those shoulders to come up, right? I want to keep them away from the ear. So think about shoulders to hips the entire time. 6 are in the same position. I'm going to keep my arms straight, shoulders down. I'm going to walk forward here. Keeping my shoulders down the best I can. Now I'm in a position where I'm in shoulder extension here, almost like I'm doing a Superman, right? Now from this position here, we're going to get a stretch in the front of the shoulder and the biceps. Now to further increase that stretch, I'm going to utilize my neck. So I'm going to pull my chin down, pull my chin back, and I'm going to rotate to the right, which is going to get an increased stretch on that left shoulder and bicep here. And then I'm going to tilt my chin up to further lengthen that line. Bring it back down, turn forward. Now rotate to the left, same thing, tilt up. Breathe. Back down. Excellent. Rotate back forward. Rotate to the left again. Tilt up. Good. Down. Rotate forward and rotate to the left. Tilt up. Back down. Turn forward and ease off. Slowly come out of position here. Excellent, good. So we're going to switch into doing the snake and reach. So remember that this stretch is pretty intense. So don't be afraid to back out of it. There's always ways to regress it. And I'll show you and I'll kind of talk about both ways that you can actually regress the stretch if it's a little bit too much for you. Because you never want to get to a 10 out of 10 on a stretch. You want to stay about a 7 or 8. 8 at absolute max. So from here, right knee is down, left leg is forward. I'm going to have the stick on the inside of my left thigh here. Now my back foot, I'm just extending that ankle so the top of my foot is into the floor. Now notice the legs out wide. I want to start out wide because we can move it in. If we move the bottom of the stick in toward the center line, then we start to get an increased stretch. So right hand's up over the top above my head, thumb facing down towards the floor. Now from here, I'm going to snake my left shoulder through and get the stick under my scapula here. Now from this position, I'm going to walk my right hand up slowly to the top, reach around with the thumb, and I'm going to hold this position here. So we're going to get a stretch in the chest, that rib cage. Excellent. I'm going to take the bottom of the stick, bring it towards my center line, and wiggle my left foot in. Now I want to try to keep those shoulders facing forward best you can. So again, this is going to get a really big stretch in the pec and rib cage area. So we can actually tension in and out of the stretch. Now for the regressions, you can walk this top hand down, right? Or it can keep the stick out wide. Those are the two best options here. Now from this, I'm going to rotate my shoulders to my left, increasing that stretch on the right pec. Then I'm going to rotate to the right, which is going to take off that stretch. Rotate to the left, and now to the right, left, and right. Back to center, wiggle that foot out, bring the stick out wider, walk that right hand down, and slowly come out. Excellent. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. So always start with that front leg out wide and then move it in. Six in line here, in line with the mid thigh. Left hand comes up and over, thumb facing down towards the floor. Take that right hand, snake that shoulder through, get it under the scapula here. All right, walk that left hand up. Bring that thumb around. Excellent, hold this position. Make sure you're breathing here, that's extremely important. Take the bottom of the stick, move it toward your center line. Walk that right foot over a bit if you can. Hold this position too. And in a second, we're gonna start rotating. So we're gonna rotate to the right, left, right, good, left, one more time, right, left, excellent, back to center, walk that left hand down, bring the stick out a little wider, and slowly come out. Excellent. Now, staying in this, we're gonna be in a half kneeling position still, and we're gonna work on rotation. So I'm gonna face the wall. This is where we need a corner of a wall here. Now for this particular drill, we're gonna go both sides. We're gonna rotate both sticks to the side of the leg that's forward. So if my left leg is forward, I'm rotating to the left, but both sticks are coming across here. Now from this position, back foot is flat to the floor. Both hands are up, right? I'm not completely overhead, but I do have them up relatively high here. Now from this position, bottoms of the sticks are secure for me. Want to drive that back foot down, squeeze that right glute, hold those hips to extension, and I'm gonna rotate both sticks over to my left. Back up, let's go again, rotate to the left. We're not driving the sticks into the wall, we're using them as a guide. Back up, rotate to the left again. Excellent, one more time. Rotate to the left. Back up. And ease off. Place that left knee down, right leg forward. We're getting to that other side. Same thing, same thing. Drive that back foot down, squeeze that left glute. Hold that position, rotate to the right. Both sticks come across. Back up. Rotate. Back up. Let's go two more. Rotate to the right. Back up. One more time. Rotate to the right here. Excellent, back up. And ease off. Excellent. All right, my friends, that concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to get in some spiral line tensioning stuff. Wanted to show you some cool drills we can do with the band. And I hope everybody enjoyed the class. I will be sure to catch y'all on the next one. Be sure to check out the rest of our YouTube for more content. See y'all later.